Well, hello, good morning or evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Let's do the hair a bit better. Well, never mind. Probably going to have to get a haircut again soon. Anyway, for the last few weeks, I've been talking about Revelation, not the book of Revelation that John wrote, but revelation as in a personal revelation, our personal revelation of Christ. And one person has been commenting on these videos a lot, and he's been asking some questions about that. And I'd like to take this video to answer those, but also to talk more about the concept of revelation itself, and where does revelation come from. I've got some notes here, so just so I don't lose my train of thought. And I actually, if this were a sermon, the sermon would be titled "Revelation from a Relationship." Well, let's just dive straight in with what this person wrote. He wrote it in two different bits, and I'll just read a few sentences and then comment on that as we go along. I won't read out the whole comment or all the comments at once. He starts with, so I'm a bit confused now. In some earlier video, you assured that personal revelation precedes faith. To get this revelation, this new video says, so that was a previous video, there are 10 steps to take. Starting that process seems to require at least some faith, right? Maybe Mr. Borkent, so that's the writer of the book. I'm just looking around here if I have the book. It used to be, yeah, the writer of this book. Does not agree on the revelation first concept. Anyway, I tried very similar steps many times back when I still thought faith without revelation was required to be a Christian. There's a phone call coming through in the middle, so I'll just go back a bit. And so this person says, still, I was never surprised by God and never found him in quiet time. Why is it called quiet? By the way, if it's not supposed to be so. You joke about it, but seriously, more confusion. So my honest request is for you to share your personal revelation so that others like me would be inspired. I will do that in a next one. And not the next, but a next one. I'm not sure when yet. Or better yet, that you record or even live stream yourself going through these steps and receiving revelation in one of your next devotional videos. That would be awesome. Thanks in advance. So he's talking about the 10 steps that we were talking about in one of the previous videos. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But it would be, to answer that directly, it would be almost impossible to actually stream that or record that. Because most of it is not out loud, so you would just see me sitting, reading a bit in the Bible, praying about it, some of it out loud, some of it quiet, then writing some things down. And I don't really do that out loud, so that's would be almost impossible. Next to that, I'm in the lucky position that I can. I don't do this daily, but I can take more time in one session, in one sitting. So that would be almost impossible. Anyway, the next thing that he says is, thank you for the perspective of sharing some of the revelations you had yourself in the coming weeks. I'm really looking forward to it and would like to request that you start with the revelation that led you to be a follower of Christian religion in the first place. Would you do so? I answered that already. I'll do that in a bit. Apart from that, I have this question. I have a question. You mentioned that questions are welcome, right? About this week's devotional message. How is it that Jesus had to isolate himself on a mountain to be able to be intimate with God, and you only need to follow 10 steps in the comfort of your own home? It seems contradictory. I'm probably missing an important clue here. And I'd like to react to that. So in these questions, and I think I've received some earlier questions as well. I just looked through my my YouTube account and couldn't really find those anymore. but it looks like this person, and I'm just using him as an example because I've seen this a lot with other people around me as well. They're not looking for. Well, let me rephrase that. They're looking for a formula. So if I do A, then B will follow, and then C. Um, and in a way, there is such a thing as a spiritual law. So if you do A, B will follow. But there's also things that I wouldn't say supersede that are more important or a higher level or whatever. But there are some things that are relationship based, and my personal opinion, my personal conviction is that revelation is relation based. So my personal relationship with Christ, of Christ, comes from my relationship with Him. Now, and that's coming back to an earlier question. He's like, so can you um, be a believer, or can you be in faith? Can you have faith without a revelation? And that's like it looks like it's a continuous circle, and going back and forth continuously, because without a revelation of Christ, how can you believe in Christ? And without believing in Christ, you cannot have a relationship with Christ, and from that relationship comes the revelation. So that could look like you're stuck in the middle because you don't have a relationship with Christ, so you don't have a source for your revelation, and because you don't have a source for your revelation, you don't get a revelation from Christ, and because you don't get a revelation from Christ, you cannot believe in Him, and because you cannot believe in Him, well, and that keeps on going round and round and round. Um, but I'm not just talking about, or not just. I'm not here. I'm not talking about the first steps in faith. I'm not talking about, your first decision. Okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to, uh, I'm going to not do it myself anymore. I'm going to hand over my life to Christ. I'm going to accept what He did for me at the cross, and follow Him in what He laid out as a plan for humanity. And we'll talk about that more as well in future videos. So I'm not talking about that. I'm more talking about, in general, when you are a believer, when you do have the faith, then your relationship with Christ is the basis for your revelation. It's not a formula, as in I do this, so I follow these 10 steps, and I will receive a revelation. Because I have received revelations before, um, not coming from this book. This book has just been published a few months now. The thing is, my revelation comes from the Bible, and I've got several here. I've got most of my Bibles are Dutch. This one, Nadense Bible. I've got a Leiden translation, a Lutheran translation, and all kinds of different translations. I've got some Catholics and well, you name it. Also, I have some English. And the thing is, reading the Bible, it is a book of Revelation. I'm not talking about the book of Revelation in the Bible, but the whole of the Bible is a revelation. It reveals God and God's purpose for us. And in that, it is the revelation that we build our lives on, or that we can build our lives on. It is a revelation of why God created the heavens and the earth, about why we are here, about what it is that He did for us. All that we can find in the Bible. And we can find that in the Bible if we read through it with an open mind and just pray while we do that. So, to this person that reacted, but also to others, I would just say, don't think that reading this book will give you revelation. It is one of the many ways that you can receive a revelation from Christ. but it's not the only way. Some of the things that have been a revelation, and maybe the word revelation is too big of a word. Um, maybe the word revelation doesn't really cover it because it's too big, or our picture of revelation is too big. You know, for instance, what I mean with revelation is sometimes I'm struggling with something. I'm struggling with a certain challenge in my personal life, or with people that I'm dealing with as a leader. I'm praying about that, and I'm thinking, God, how can I? I see their lives, talking about a certain person. I see their lives going in a certain direction, and I don't believe that that is what you meant for them. Or you see let's just put it very bluntly, you see a drug addict or an alcoholic, and you see them throwing away their lives, and you're like, okay, so Lord, how can I help them to see that they're going in the wrong direction? How can I help them to turn their lives around without me turning their lives around for them? Because that would be manipulation. Um, and of course, saying, Lord, I'm open in this, so please use me to help them. Um, so it's not, it's not like we're talking about the book of Revelation, that is your personal revelation. No, it's like, okay, Lord, how can I help this person? And then while walking through the forest and thinking about that, talking to God about that, and just praying about that, but also sometimes while listening to worship music, um, while talking to other people, I just feel the Holy Spirit coming in and depositing some wisdom. That is a revelation. So it's not the whole thing and the full revelation of Christ that I've received in one go. It's all tiny bits through the years, um, that have helped me, and that I call revelation, and it's part of a revelation. So, um, for instance, in the country where we were missionaries, asking God about, so how can I help this specific church? And while I'm talking to the leaders of that specific church, I just have a sense, as in, I should ask them this question. So I asked them that question, and that was the key to opening up a whole, basically a whole new chapter in our conversation. And that led to them thinking about, oh, wait a minute, there is a purpose with our church being placed in this area. Uh, and that was a revelation. So the revelation came through me asking them a question. And that question I got inspired by the Holy Spirit. So revelation itself can come from many different directions. Can come from many different ways. Revelation comes from a relationship with Christ. So I'm asking him in a conversation, and he answers, and that becomes a revelation. Um, so I think that answers the question, or at least I hope it does. And as this person said before, please share your personal revelation of Christ and why you became a Christian. How what is your personal revelation? I will do that in a later video. I'm just thinking about how to do that, because if I start sharing a testimony like that, it might take a lot longer than a regular Monday morning video, which I try to keep below 15 minutes. Um, and so far it's working for this one. But my whole story might be a bit longer. So I'm contemplating on how I'm going to do that. I might actually record it and cut it into pieces, or I might record it and post it on a different day, and not as a part of the regular Monday devotional videos. So to recap and close this subject off, the revelations I've received came from a relationship that I have with Christ, because of what he did for me, and because of my willingness to submit my life to him, um, and to well, to listen to what His plan is for my life. And in that, we are working on a relationship. We're building a relationship, and with that relationship comes revelation. Um, so praying, spending time in the Bible, in the Word of God, spending time just walking around in the forest or wherever, laying in bed while listening to a sermon sometimes, or while listening to some music. Just sometimes I'm behind my PC. I'm pointing in that direction because my PC is there. I'm working, and while working, I receive, I feel the Holy Spirit's trying to say something, and I'll pause and just listen to that. So it comes from a relationship. It's not about a formula. If I follow these 10 steps, I will always get a revelation. I'm convinced that these 10 steps that are noted in this book and that I've talked about in previous videos can help you, but it's not the key to revelation. The key to revelation is a personal relationship with Christ. Now, and if you want to have a personal relationship with Christ, and if you feel like, I don't have that yet, and I need it, just simply start by saying, Lord Jesus, here's my heart, here's my life. I submit and I surrender to you. That's it. And from that come a lot more other things, but we'll talk about that in a different video, because otherwise this one will go on for quite a long time. But let's start with that in the next one, and we'll see. So I hope this was a good one for you. If so, let me know in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the video if you actually felt like this was useful to you. Also, comment on it, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. You've listened to a podcast by the 1820 Foundation and 5volt.eu. For more information and contact, please visit www.5volt.eu. We are a ministry, and all the work we do is made possible from donations. If you would like to support us and contribute to the building of the kingdom, please also check out our website, the1820foundation.nl. Thank you for listening. Many blessings.